Right now, while you're watching this, there's a conversation happening inside you. Not in your head, in your gut. In 1899, British physiologist William Bayliss discovered something that didn't fit any existing theory. Buried in the walls of the human intestine, hundreds of millions of neurons, nerve cells, exactly like the ones in your brain. Not thousands, not millions, 500 million. More than in the spinal cord, more than in the entire peripheral nervous system. The scientific community accepted this discovery, and then almost immediately forgot about it for 100 years. Because it didn't fit the comfortable picture. The brain controls the body obeys the brain. Only in the 1990s did neurogastroenterologist Michael Gershon give this phenomenon a name: the enteric nervous system, the second brain. His book came out in 1998 and overturned everything medicine thought it knew about the connection between mind and body. The second brain doesn't think the way you think. It doesn't solve equations. But it controls digestion completely autonomously. Even if you sever the vagus nerve, the gut keeps running on its own. And this second brain communicates with the first, constantly, through a two-way channel, the vagus nerve. But here's what matters. 90% of the signals travel upward, from the gut to the brain, not the other way. This means your brain is not commanding the gut most of the time. It's listening to it. And what the gut tells the brain affects your mood, your anxiety, your stress levels, and the decisions you make. Let's start with serotonin. You probably know it as the happiness hormone. Antidepressants work by targeting it, raising its levels in the brain. But here's a fact that changes everything. 90% of the serotonin in your body is not produced in the brain. It's produced in the gut. Specialized cells lining the intestinal walls synthesize serotonin in response to bacteria, to what you eat, to the state of the gut itself. This means your mood right now is partly determined by what's happening in your belly, not metaphorically, physiologically. But serotonin is just the beginning. The gut produces 50% of the body's dopamine, and GABA, the main inhibitory neurotransmitter that reduces anxiety. The gut is a pharmaceutical factory running 24 hours a day. Its output directly shapes how you feel every minute of your life. And now, the strangest part. These neurotransmitters aren't only produced by the gut itself, they're produced by bacteria, the ones living inside you. Inside your gut live between 38 and 40 trillion bacteria. Roughly as many as there are cells in your entire body. By weight, about 3 pounds of living organisms inside you right now. And they don't just digest food. They produce neuroactive compounds. They communicate with the immune system. They send signals to the brain through the vagus nerve. In 2004, Japanese scientists conducted an experiment that changed the field. They raised mice in sterile conditions, with not a single bacterium in their gut. These mice were hyperreactive to stress. Their cortisol spiked at the slightest irritation. They were anxious, overactive, and struggled in social situations. But when they were given bacteria from normal mice, their behavior normalized. Stress levels dropped. The anxiety disappeared. This next step was more radical. Scientists transferred bacteria from anxious mice to calm ones, and vice versa. The mice literally exchanged behavioral patterns. The bold became cautious. The anxious became calm. In 2011, Irish scientists went further. They gave mice a single strain of bacteria and measured the behavioral changes. The mice became significantly less anxious. They handled stress better. They produced less cortisol. And when the vagus nerve was severed, the effect vanished entirely. The bacteria communicate with the brain specifically through that nerve. In 2019, data was published on microbiome transplants in people with depression. They received microbiomes from healthy individuals. In some patients, symptoms significantly decreased without antidepressants. This is not fringe science. These are publications in Nature, Science, and Cell. The world's leading psychiatric centers are now studying whether depression and anxiety can be treated through the gut. And all of this explains what people have known intuitively for thousands of years. Gut feeling. Trust your gut. Butterflies in your stomach. In every culture around the world, expressions linking the belly to decisions and premonitions. These are not metaphors. These are observations from generations of people who noticed. The gut reacts to danger faster than the mind, because it has its own nervous system, and it runs in parallel with the brain. The second brain existed long before the first. In evolution, the enteric nervous system appeared before the brain. The brain is the superstructure. The gut is the foundation. But here's the problem. Modern life is systematically destroying that foundation. One course of antibiotics, and your microbiome is disrupted for months. Ultra-processed food feeds the wrong bacteria. Chronic stress reshapes your microbiome within weeks. Sleep deprivation, alcohol, no fiber. We're dismantling our second brain, and then wondering why the anxiety won't go away, why our mood is unstable, why our decisions feel harder. What works? Fermented foods, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. Diverse plant-based food, fiber the bacteria actually eat. Less ultra-processed. And most importantly, understanding. What you eat affects not just your body, your mood, your thinking. Who you feel like every single day. Subscribe. Next week, one more thing your body does completely without you knowing.